Going live, going live. Let's chat. Hello, welcome to day 12 of 30 days where I'm going live, helping you understand why your teenager won't talk to you. If you've missed any of the previous days, go check them out. These are all about 15 minutes each. A lot of parents ask me, why won't my teen talk to me? Why won't they listen to anything I have to say? And to that, I start the exploration process. I put on my explorer hat. I start digging. I ask questions. Sometimes I talk to moms one-on-one. Sometimes I get messages. Most of the time I get messages from moms saying, I'm trying to talk to my teenager about their phone use. Or I'm trying to talk to them about dating and they've got red flags. They won't talk to me. What's going on? How can I talk to them about this? And I'm like, hold up, step back a couple steps. You've got to first earn their trust so that they want to talk to you and that they care about what you have to say about all of these things. So if you're in a place where your teenager doesn't care what you have to say, doesn't want to talk to you, doesn't want your advice, rolls their eyes at you, disrespectful, mean, isolates in the room, all of these things, if you're in this place with your teenager, listen up. This series is for you. 30 days going live. Today we're going to talk about forgiveness because it's Sunday and I'm a religious gal and I don't usually do a whole lot of work on Sundays, but I want to keep my streak going of this 30 days. So we're going to talk about forgiving your teenager. And I recognize that's hard, oftentimes coming from a place where you feel like they don't deserve my forgiveness. They're being disrespectful. Something's wrong with them. And I am here to tell you there's nothing wrong with your teenager. There's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with the pattern that you are stuck in. You are stuck in a pattern between you and your teenager that can be fixed. It's going to take effort on your part. Are you willing to put in the effort to build a bridge? Your teenager's here, you're here, to build a bridge to either meet in the middle, or you and your teenager here are stuck in this pattern of what I call the mainland. You want to get to the island. You got to build a bridge to get there. And I'm here to help you build the bridge to recognize the patterns that you are stuck in so that you can get to that place with your teenager where you're no longer angry or seething or crying or feeling rejected. All of these feelings that I hear come up from moms because they're just feeling like, I do so much for them. How can they treat me this way? So let's talk about forgiveness. And I think a lot of moms often think if I forgive my teenager too easily, then I'm letting them off the hook. Have you ever felt that way? If you think, and I've got so many stories flooding through my mind, I'm going to try and stick to this. The truth is, holding on to frustration, gritting your teeth, deciding, putting ultimatums, punishing for everything, it actually doesn't teach your teenager. It trains them to hide. I think so many parents think I'm going to punish them into submission, punish them into what I want them to be, when in reality, it pushes them further away. Maybe they are going to learn what you want them to or to comply. We're not trying to parent through compliance. We want them to understand what they're making decisions for, not just making decisions because their parents tell them to. Forgiveness. So if you're in this place of holding on to frustration, trying to teach your teenager something they're learning to hide, forgiveness doesn't actually remove accountability from them. It removes fear. And fear is what shuts them down. I think parents in the olden days really thought, oh, I want my kids to be afraid of me because then they'll listen to me. Okay, maybe they'll be afraid of you, but you're not actually going to have a relationship where they feel emotionally safe to trust, right? Safety, which is a goal in emotional leadership, which is a goal in trusted leadership that I'm trying to share with you. Safety and fear don't coincide. If your teenager fears you, they don't feel safe with you. If they feel safe with you, they're not going to fear you. So if what I teach resonates with you, the goal is to become trusted. This is what I've created, the trusted method. Your goal is to be this emotional leader, to feel emotionally safe to your teenager. Is that your goal? Tell me, is that your goal? Is that why you're here? If not, then this isn't the place for you. I teach a workshop, which I'm actually teaching on Tuesday, April 21st, all about becoming the emotional leader in your home. If you're in this place where I don't want to forgive my teenager, they've messed up. They have put me in a difficult place over and over and over. They don't deserve my forgiveness. If you feel that deep in your heart, this isn't the place for you. But if you feel like, I think I am holding on to some resentment, I'm holding on to anger, I'd like to let it go. I don't know how to let it go. Come to my workshop. That's where I teach the foundation of emotional leadership. And then I say, all right, now come over here. I got more for you. I've got a program called the Trusted Academy. Let's dig deeper and learn more. If this is you, if you don't want to just get cook tips on the internet, if you want to really dig deep and become a new version of you, become this mom that you always dreamed of, come to my workshop. That's where it starts. So let's dig into forgiveness a little bit more. Think about this. Your teen isn't pulling away because of what they did. They're pulling away because of what it feels like to come back to you after. Let's say they mess up. You hear lots like, let your teenager make mistakes. They're going to mess up. We got to be there to support them when they mess up so that they can become better. And most parents are like, no, I just want to prevent them from messing up. I want to help them. I want to make everything smooth so they won't mess up. So let's talk about a pain point that I hear often is, let's say, chores around the house, right? They've got responsibility. We're trying to run a household. Listen, I get it. Things get backed up. They have these responsibility in their chores. So, and then they don't do their chores and you're ticked off at them, right? You're ticked because maybe your spouse is upset with you. Maybe other kids are upset with you. And homework is another one that I hear too. So I'm going to actually go with that example. So you're ticked because you're like, I'm letting them be responsible and they're not being responsible. They're failing this class. And so they start to isolate more. They start to get annoyed with you when you remind them to do things because they know that they want to do it, but they don't have the bandwidth, or they're already feeling guilty because they're failing or whatever it is. And so they pull away because it's easier to pull away than to deal, isn't it? Can we all agree that it's easier to just pull away than to deal with what's in front of you? And sometimes as adults, we do that. And we're trying to retrain ourselves to not necessarily do that. It's not the mistake that damages the relationship. It's what happens after the mistake. If they don't feel like they're a good kid because they know they haven't met your expectations, they're absorbing their mistakes. They're absorbing the pain and suffering. And they don't want to deal with you because that's what they associate it with. They associate, I'm a bad kid. You're thinking you made a bad decision. But what they're feeling is I'm a bad kid. And when that feeling is associated with you, they don't want anything to do with you. So as we talk today about ways that you're trying to understand why your teenager doesn't talk to you, in these 30 days, I'm explaining the whys and inviting you to step into more with the workshop that I'm teaching to understand how to do it different. I've got it linked in my bio, lab.kristenduke.com. It's like a chemistry lab, because I want to help you unpack these patterns. Because remember, it's not you, it's not your teenager, it's the pattern that you are stuck in. And when you unpack these patterns, when you learn to do differently, parent differently, then they're actually willing to trust you. There are ways to talk about chores and homework and phones and dating and curfew, all of these things that bubble up inside of you that you get frustrated about because they're not doing it the way that you've taught them or told them to do. You're feeling this anger, frustration, rejection, whatever your emotions are. And I'm not here to tell you you're not allowed to feel those emotions. I'm here to say, take those emotions and behave a little bit differently with your teenager, because when you can forgive them, and this is a practice. This isn't something that you just decide I'm going to do one day. This is a practice. And that's why when you immerse in the trusted language, when you come over to this world that I've got for you in the Trusted Academy, when you immerse in the trusted language, you start to become this newer version of yourself. It doesn't just come from learning a new tip. It doesn't just come from an aha moment. It comes from the practice and the immersion of doing this over and over with people who are also on the same journey. So if your teen feels like they're still in trouble hours after you had a discussion, they're going to stop coming to you altogether. So these are the things that I want you to think about as we talk about today is day 12 of 30, forgiveness. It's a Sunday, so I like to get a little religious on our Sunday discussions. Thinking about forgiveness, do you feel like you're harboring resentment towards your teenager? Okay, then we need to practice some forgiveness. Do you feel like you're annoyed or that you take personally or that they're mistakes? This is a practice of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not pretending it didn't happen. That's not what I'm asking you to do. It's not dropping your expectations. You still can have expectations. It's not about being permissive. A lot of people think trusted parenting means permissive parenting. A lot of dads think that. I have to help moms to see, no, that's actually not what it's all about. Forgiveness is resetting the emotional tone. Forgiveness is signaling you're safe with me. Again, I'm not happy about it, but you're still safe with me. We can talk about it. And separating your teen from their mistake. Let's see, somebody said something here. Can I get you a little closer? You're so welcome. I'm grateful to hear that you feel like it's great advice. I remember talking to a mom, it was almost a year ago, actually. She joined the Trusted Academy and she was frustrated with her daughter who kept coming home late after curfew. And they had talked about it. And that's exhausting, right? When you feel like you are this trusted parent and you're talking about it and you're trying to allow them to make mistakes. They come home, she came home late and her daughter was like her mom lectured. She yelled at her. She was mad. She felt like she was being disrespected again. And after the lecture period, sometime after 1 a.m. probably, her daughter was like, will you make me a grilled cheese sandwich? And her mom was like, no, I'm ticked at you. And so we talked about this. And I said, she really came to her own conclusion as I was asking her some questions, put on my investigator hat, as I do as your coach, talk to you about these very specific scenarios. And I honestly can't even remember what I asked her, what I said. But when we talked, I said, it sounds like she was looking to hear that you still loved her, even after you got upset. And you rejected her because you were holding on to this resentment. And she felt like, I feel like I have to hold a line. I feel like I have to show her that I'm serious, that any element of kindness is her taking it as me not being serious. And so what I helped her to see was her daughter was looking to see that her mom still loved her, to see that her mom still cared even when she was upset. So she had this aha moment and she's like, I guess I really could have still been upset that she broke the rule and still showed her love, forgiving through making her a grilled cheese sandwich. And it really is just a micro example of check yourself, what you're doing, how you're responding. And if you have a hard time with this, this is why I invite you to come into the trusted world so that we can work through this together, so that the more you practice this new pattern, this new pathway, we're going into brain science here. I talked about your brain in a previous live that I did, because I want you to understand the difference so that you can earn their trust, so that they will want to talk to you, so that they will get it deep down. Oh, I actually want to come home on time because I want my mom and I to stay in this trusted space. I get it. They start to get it when you can monitor yourself and your emotions. So your reaction after the mistake teaches them one of two things. I can recover with my mom, or I should avoid her next time. Which one do you want your teenager to feel? Do you want them to feel like they have to hide from you, that they have to avoid you? Or do you want them to feel, my mom can handle this? She might be upset and she's going to help me so much. I love Brene Brown talking about the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt, we want them to feel some element of guilt, and that's what helps them propel change. But when they feel shame, when they feel I'm a bad kid instead of I didn't make the greatest choice, they don't care anymore. They start to be like, well, it doesn't matter. Mom already thinks I'm a bad kid anyway, so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. So as I wrap this up, talking about forgiveness on this Sunday, because I'm going to church. I got all dressed. I'm going to church in an hour or so. I want you guys to think about, do you need to forgive your teenager? Is there a conversation to be had? In the Trusted Academy, I guide you through how to have these conversations coming from a trusted place. I share scripts, say this, not that scripts. You can have words, but if your intention, your heart, your whole aura immersed in the trusted language, if your whole aura comes from a place of contempt or rejection or anger deep down, it's not going to translate into true forgiveness. Think about this. Let's say you got a beverage. Think about going to the 7-Eleven and getting a fruit punch Slurpee. Red, okay? It's dangerous to bring it into a car, but nonetheless, you're like, I'm an adult. I'm going to bring it into the car. You spill it all over your seat. You clean it up. It's got this fruit punch smell, okay? You clean it up. Maybe there's not much there, but there's still a little bit of red on the seat, and you can still smell that fruit punch smell. Now imagine every time you get in the car, someone says, hey, remember when you spilled that? Yeah, that was just so careless. Imagine that. Imagine that there's like a devil sitting on your shoulder, always like, oh, you're such a terrible, you're such a mess. I can't believe you spilled that. You're 47 years old and you spilled that red Slurpee on the seat. Imagine that. Then you start dreading getting in your car, right? You got to get in your car to go places, but you dread getting in your car because the little devil on your shoulder is like, "Oh, remember when you were so careless and you spilt that drink on the seat? Uh-huh. Yeah, this is going to remind you every time. I'm going to remind you every time you get in the car." That's what it feels like for your teenager when the emotional residue sticks around. Forgiveness is cleaning the spill and removing the smell, removing completely the stain that's been there. A mom snaps at her teen for forgetting something again. Her tone is sharp, her words linger. Later that night, she softens, but doesn't say anything. Her teen is quieter, short answers, door closed. Mom thinks they're being distant, but what the teen is thinking, I don't know if I'm still in trouble. The next day, mom says, "Hey, I didn't like how I talked to you yesterday. You didn't deserve that tone. I'm working on that." What starts to happen is that their shoulders drop, their eye contact returns, conversations open. This is an example of what we practice and work on when I coach you. I'm here to coach you. Patterns can be broken. I want you to think about when your team messes up, how long does it feel like they're in trouble? Are you giving the cold shoulder? Are you reminding them weeks and months after, "Hey, remember when you did that?" It's a practice to retrain yourself to not do that anymore. It's not that your team can't handle accountability, it's that you can't handle the emotional weight that lingers after it. And that's the pattern that we work on together. I'm going to end this live. If you've missed the others, go back. This is day 12 of 30, where I'm here to help you see why your teenager doesn't want to talk to you. And when you can see the pattern, you're then ready to work through the pattern. I talked about confidence yesterday or the day before. It is so important to absorb this mom confidence. And I recognize that there's patterns to break to even get to that place. And that's what I help you do, is become this confident mom so that you can go and become a trusted mom. You got to be a confident mom first. You got to break the patterns that you're stuck in, because so many moms are like, "I know I'm reactive. I know I need to do this better. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know." It's not enough to know. You got to then step into the skills, take on the skills, become this new version of yourself. And it is possible. I'm a recovering overreactor myself. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm here to teach you. I've got a roadmap, a step-by-step roadmap, and it starts with the workshop. Come at workshop after this. It is also linked in my bio. It is also in my story. I want to see you at the workshop, Tuesday the 21st. I'll see you there. And let's close up Facebook. Okay. And look, I got my party stuff here from yesterday for my daughter. Had a surprise party.